Hello, my friends. Welcome. Anybody? I see some people's names and not their faces, and I see lots of people and their faces and their bodies, and love how you're all letting yourself move around in the various ways that you are. Welcome, welcome. Uh, I wanted to reiterate some of the basic purposes of this practice that we've been doing now for more than a year. So first of all, if you've been part of this for, at least part of that time, just give yourself some appreciation for really letting yourself be in the exploration of how to make a shift. So one of the things about practicing loop of awareness is it's a very gentle way of assisting you to just simply shift because most of the time we get stuck in something like get stuck in oh my god, and don't really give attention in any other direction. And so learning how to make a shift allows your body to find balance and allows you to find a dynamic balance. So one of the purposes of the loop of awareness also is to create dimensionality, because one of the things I've noticed, I don't know if you have, but one of the things I've noticed over the last several years is that people are getting more and more two dimensional. So, how you get two dimensional is being caught in fear, which makes you contract, and then going up into your head, the particular flee move up, which makes you more heady and excludes your body. And so, loop of awareness literally allows you to feel that you have three, four, and five dimensions. So, right now, excuse me, I want to have some water. So, yeah, phlegm be gone. All right. So, right now, check out your dimensionality. Are you feeling flatter or rounder? Are you feeling expanded or contracted or somewhere in between? Are you not even sort of noticing how you're feeling? So that's also one of the purposes of loop of awareness. It is allows you to attend to yourself as well as attending to the outside world and other people. Because very often we exclude one or the other. We get involved with ourselves and we forget there's this whole outside world, or we get so involved in the world we forget to come home again. So, one of the basic functions of loop of awareness is to allow this expansion of connection and dimensionality. And then love scoops, one of the big purposes of love scoops is that it allows you to include yourself. So take a moment and just take on your posture of waiting to be included, waiting to be picked, hoping somebody will notice you and say, hey, would you like to come and join us? Or, hey, how are you doing? So get into your waiting to be picked. I can remember this way, way back at Cotillion when we had this big dance thing and the girls had to wait to be picked. That was not fun, waiting to be picked. And I can feel myself sort of up and frozen and a little bit forward and really afraid that I was not going to be picked. And of course, that would mean that I was not important and that I was rejected. And so now let yourself reach out to the sides of you and just bring in some loving attention and give it to any place that you've been feeling contracted or flatter. And then reach out again. See, the reaching out, especially if it includes your torso, activates you. You get to include yourself. So, all of those times where you've been waiting to be included, you just go on and reach out and go, hey, I'm including myself. Mm-mm. And you can reach behind you and grab some good feeling, grab some love is really being in the same place with. So just reach out and bring yourself some presence. You don't even have to call it love, just some attention and give it to any place in you that's feeling flat or maybe just feeling just a little bit less energetic than the rest of you. And if it helps you, so I noticed a number of you are standing. And so if it helps you to stand, by all means do that. And notice if there's any place around you that you can reach out and actually scoop up some love. And then as you're bringing it in, notice, oh, yeah, I'd like a little bit more here. And, ooh, I'd like a little bit more here. And then notice how that may be expanding your inner dimensionality, like the yumminess of including yourself. And now I'd like you to just simply shift your attention out there and let some of that yumminess just sprinkle it like you're spreading wildflowers. Just sprinkle your attention out into the world. Ah. And then so more love scoops and find like I'm going to just gather up a whole bunch and then boom, I'm going to spread it over my whole body. Ah, and then I'm going to let myself absorb it. Mm. Ah, and I'm going to let it come all the way down into my feet. So I'm going to do a little bit of sumo bouncing. Ah, and then I'm going to gather up that some of that love because there's lots of it in me, and I'm going to send it out there in the world like ecological confetti. This is confetti that won't contaminate anything. It's love confetti. So you can gather it up and send it out, and you can send it right nearby or you can send it around the world. Ah, and then coming back to gathering some more love. And I'd like you to add a to it this time, gathering some more love with a And you can also give it to yourself in more subtle ways. Like I'm going to just give some little sprinkles around my neck and my face and my upper chest. Ah, so love scooping and gathering to yourself. And then gather some of that and let yourself do now drops of love, like sending drops of love here, drops of love over there. And then watching, experiencing, sensing that being absorbed. Because sometimes just a little love in just the right place opens up this sense of, ah, here I am. I'm included. I'm welcome. I'm welcoming myself. So, what would it be like to give yourself welcoming? So, the attention that you give and receive, let yourself welcome. Let that be a welcoming. Mm. And love spritzers out and love spritzers back in. Beautiful. Ah, wonderful. And then let yourself find another way that maybe doesn't use your arms, maybe uses your whole body, maybe just uses some gestures, some other kinds of gestures. You could also just use your attention, giving it to yourself, giving it to the space around you, letting it land like those drops of love. And notice how your body wants to respond to that. Beautiful. And sometimes eyes open, sometimes eyes closed, as you're letting your attention come inside Then just notice where your attention is drawn. So, listening to your body and letting your body tell me, I'd like some attention here. I'd like some attention here. And then just notice that your attention itself is like an embrace or a hug or a light touch when you're wanting to let someone know, I'm with you. See if you'd be willing to give that to yourself. Hmm. And then noticing there's plenty, and that there may be someone who's come to your mind. Like, I have a friend who's just experienced death in the family, and he just came to my mind. And so I'm gathering up and going to send love and presence and just let that land. Ah, yes. Ah, and then giving it to yourself. Because we almost always, I bet you everybody here is more of a giver than a receiver. And so I'd like you to practice what I call the M&M's theory of loving, which when with my brothers, when we used to have to, we used to have to share M&Ms because we didn't each get our own bag. And so the sharing would be, everybody gets an equal amount, but I don't want you to do that. I want you to give two to you for every one that you give out. So with your attention, go ahead and give that out freely. And then, I want you to be giving twice as much to you. So if you're giving one breath outward, I'd like you to give two breaths to you, two breaths full of attention to you. And see, I notice as I'm doing that my body is feeling more perky. I'm feeling more energy moving. So notice if you're experiencing more flow or more ease or more dimensionality. So, loop of awareness is really designed that you get to be included. So it doesn't all go, I have to give to you. And then if you're completely satisfied and there's a little bit left over, then I'll have some. But that you get to be included all the way along the line. And because there's plenty. So let yourself just play with for a moment. There's plenty. There's plenty of attention. I can enjoy plenty of attention and give plenty of attention. And if it would be valuable for you, go ahead and just say that out loud. There's plenty of attention. And just notice how your body responds to, woo, there's plenty of attention. You might be saying, ah, I don't believe it. There's not plenty. There's never been plenty. But see, if you would be willing for there to be plenty of attention. Yeah. And notice how that shifts up how you're feeling, how you're responding. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Ah, lovely. So my window washing people who were supposed to come at 9:30 have just arrived. So everybody just enjoy your attention for a moment. I'll be right back. So I've been lightening up my whole relationship to how people keep their agreements with me. And I'm still pretty clear about it. So let's do one more, some for you and lots for me. And that can continue throughout your life, but especially throughout the next week. See if you would be willing to just play with plenty for me, plenty for you. And all you need to do when you get stuck is just simply shift. Just shift to the other direction. And if you're still stuck, just keep shifting. And my experience has been that I get back in flow and I can make more choices. And I feel like, oh, I am creating my life and I'm including myself with the great flow of life. Wonderful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And those of you who would like to stay for the exploration of our integrity cards, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just take a breath here. Ah.